Hey people, go ahead and add fat to the words you can't say on YouTube. I wasn't sure. I seen the views were way down on this one, but I noticed they were hiding a comment here. I had to make it come up, and it's because he said full fat in there. That's all I can figure. But fat has several meanings. The way it's used is means rich. You know, if you're pulling a trailer and you're making a turn, you're going to swerve way over there in the other lane. You're going to take that turn fat. You know, YouTube, they just want everybody to praise them. And the way they did that in the old times, this man, you know, he's doing the stick up. And what it comes from is he's afraid of getting slapped. His old lady fixing to slap him, and he put his hands up in front. You better praise me, boy. And this is interpreted as our hands handled concerning the word of the life. And in our hands is the way a cheer is come on. And the way you cheer is come on is to use your hands. Your cheers come on. And so it's all phrases, pictures. It's like this was written in order to keep a computer from being able to reading it. And so the way the cheers come on is in if, E-P-S. If slap is on, a fear it of. And what you do with your hands, the way the cheers come on, if a slap is on, a fear it of. It's when you put your hands up in front of your face to praise, you know, which we were the spectators of. So that tells me, you know, that they were beating this information into them. You better believe me. And you know this is true because we have seen it with our own eyes. You know, to see it with your own eyes, I can recommend. Recommend is, yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. So I had to come look at this. This is that word I was found, and it only comes up twice in John 1 where I was reading, and then this is another set of books, the First John, and it comes up at the top, so I had to come check it out. And it's talking about a kikumin here. A kikumin is that ancient Japanese or Chinese, the Asian plant of the earth. The kiko is the turtle shell. And it says of on a perches of kikumin. And so this is that Hebrew word for earth, the A-R-X. And it doesn't mean earth. It just symbolizes the earth when it's put in its phrase. You know, what perches on the back of a turtle shell is the earth, but it doesn't mean earth. It means what's on the back of the turtle shell. 4 elephants holding the earth. And this we have seen is the aura. You know, the light came in, and to is, tis, came in, tis. And this is of a thalum, of a chamber. A chamber is come on. And that's why I came here. I knew there had to be another meaning for this word. I was only seeing one in that last time, but O-E becomes a O. The E becomes a V after the O. And so this is of the azimuth. The azimuth is the distance from north to a spot on the horizon where a star comes up, the azimuth. But when you read this as the D's omit, you take this is only D here in this line, and it becomes the opal from is, which is a word coming from the same place as a kikumin, which means the upper millstone. You know, you have a set stone on the bottom that doesn't move, and then you have an upper millstone that's turning on the top. And so they got this confused. This doesn't represent the earth. This is the earth down here. This is the dome over the top. This is the flat earth theory. And so the opal is the dome on top, which some viewed as the serpent. So I use the Egyptian hieroglyphs and the Greek and the Hebrew all to understand where the language comes from. And it would have been impossible for somebody in the past to figure this out without computer day. Not impossible. It would have took a long time if you didn't have help and somebody teaching you the meaning of these. But you can't trust the Latin. That language has been created. It's been twisted in order to twist the meaning of the Bible. But you see Latin. It's Italy backwards. The Lati, and it's a word that comes from the hyphen. I read this as wise in, and that's what it means. Is the people that understood how to read the hyphen in the Hebrew. You had to know how to read it backwards and forwards. And so that's why this E-I-F-E-N, I found that old Dutch dictionary where they pronounce it as wise in, and it meant wise, a philosopher. So it was only the philosophers that understood what the hyphen meant. And if you spend as much time as me looking up the origin of words, you'll see that Latin is totally twisted. They try to force all the words on Latin meanings, when most of them read out plain in Hebrew and Greek. And I use the word Hebrew and Greek and Egypt often, and all three of these words, they just mean the hidden knowledge. The language is Teutonic, and the Hebrew and the Greek are just ways of twisting the language into secrets for not everybody to understand. But when you understand the pictures, they sound out in English, in Teutonic. They have tricks and letter combinations that show you how to read words. And in these Egyptian definitions, you have to look more closely in them. They call this a brewer. And the brewer, the B here is the in. And what's in is the man. And the man's in the pot. He's in the roux. And the just means that's what he's doing. And so you could look at this as in the beginning. In the beginning you start your roux for your gumbo. And I was wanting to get into this to start another video. I already got too long in this to put the one on it. But this is where your word causeway comes from. And it's also where your word causes comes from. And the man, he is in. He was be cause. And so the reason these things are being bent is because the man, he is the be cause. And so this comes from cause. You can see it spelt with a K here, but originally they spelt that with the Q. And so if you're down there in Egypt, you want to know why the river goes up and down. You have to go up the river up here to the cause to find out. And so they have a couple symbols for because here. They'll tell you that the causeway come from a Latin for heel. Calyx most likely comes from the trampling technique to consolidate earthworks. The trampling technique to consolidate earthworks. And so you could tell that they got this definition from looking at the picture and not understanding what it meant. But the cause means to bring together. He's trying to bring together the two ends. When you grab the end, you have to stand on the middle of it so it don't spring back out and bend them over. He's trying to bend these two over together. The man is because he's the one in the cause. And so a causeway isn't the trampling. The cause means to connect the two. The causeway is connected two ends. The cause is what he's trying to do here. And so I found that in Genesis 1 on the 4th day. And that's the cause in the giving light. And so light is knowledge. And it's talking about bringing the two together is what this means, the cause in. And he's bringing together the firmament, the stair, home, at, it, of, the starum. Oh, people used to look up at the stars, The stair and the star come from the same place. The stair and then the EOM, the home. The star's home is up in the firmament. The star home, at, it, of, the hour, on, of. And so this is what he's doing. He's bringing together the cause in to bring the two together. The epithages, the perfect examples. The epithages it of, and die through the chore is. And you see this word change up to parted. But this is the hind, the one that has already been done, the past day. The chore is hind, a name is on. The power is on this. The comer as, and the power is on this of the night. So in the first 3 days, it makes the light, it makes the firmament, it makes the dry ground. And then on the 4th day is when you really make the light. The sun, moon, and stars, when you put it all together, the cause in. So I don't remember what caused me to go reading in John, but it uses a lot of the words the same as in Genesis 1. You know, it starts with the energy on of logos, the power of the word is what it says. And then it talks about the light into, cause in, and the darkness. And it's using a whole bunch of words that I was seeing in Genesis 1 in the Greek. And so that's why I went back to Genesis 1. And I color-coded all the similar phrases to help figure out what all this means. And it worked. I figured out what most of all these words in here are. And very few have been interpreted correctly. You know, this is the hour of, not heavens. It's the place that holds the time. And when God separated the water and the dry land, and he called the dry land the tents, T-E-N-T-S, E-R-A-N-G-E, the tents arrange on. So that's what a sailor would call the dry land. Over there where all the tents arrange on. You know, the water goes down and everybody pitches their tent out there in the Nile and they go to work planting on the dry land. The tents arrange on. They don't build houses because they know it's going to flood again. And why would they want to live in tents somewhere that floods every year? Because the dollar sees. They into the dollars. D-A-L-A-S-I. The dollar see as. And all these are hidden in the pictures. You know, and God beheld that it was good, and hidden of those at a call on, to hide the definition of the word, the hidden of those at a call on. So I'll start the next movie, and I'm going to start reading at the front of Genesis here, and I'm going to work fast in the energy of the fees in, energy the works in of those to now ran on with engine. So in this Greek Bible, they done figured out how it runs on engine. It turns with gears. Everything has a cause. And that's what it's talking about here. So that'll be all in the next movie. And I'll try to see if I can get this whole Genesis all in one movie. I'm going to cut this off here. A good day.